remotely this morning. Ooh, lots of good mornings. We have a hello everyone from Paul Baker, a good morning all from Mary, and a link to the WES Cares form as well. It is good to connect and to share our time together. Our opening words this morning are from Walt Whitman's poem, When the Lilacs Last in the Dooryard Bloomed. When lilacs last in the dooryard bloomed, and the great star early drooped in the western sky in the night, I mourned and yet shall mourn with ever-returning spring. Ever-returning spring, Trinity sure to me you bring, lilac blooming perennial and drooping star in the west, and thought of him that I love. Praised be the fathomless universe, for life and joy, and for objects and knowledge curious, and for love, sweet love, but praise, praise, praise. Today's opening song is Morning Has Come by Jason Shelton, performed by the WES Chorus. Each week, we read our statement of purpose as a reminder of our shared values. If you're interested in taking a turn to read the statement of purpose, you can sign up at tiny.cc/readsop. You can read it here in person or make a recording that will be included in a future platform. Today's reader is Nicole Beck. For you.
Is that working? Great. All right. The Washington Ethical Society is a humanistic congregation that affirms the worth of every person. We strive through our relationships to elicit the best in the human spirit. With faith in human goodness, we appreciate each person's unique capacities. We joyfully celebrate together and support each other through life. We nurture a sense of reverence and responsibility for each other and the earth. We warmly invite you to join our community of children and adults as we work for a world where love and justice cross all borders.
As Nicole lights our community candle, I invite everyone to join in our candle lighting words. May we kindle within us the warmth of compassion, the light of understanding, and the fire of commitment to build a brighter future for all. Next, we will be hearing from a member of our stewardship team, Alex Abbott. Come on down, Alex.
Good morning. There we go. Thanks. I'm not actually on the stewardship team. In fact, I hate talking about money. I hate asking people for money, and I usually procrastinate. So I'm glad to be here today, though. You know what I do love, though? The Ethical Society. And it takes money to run it. So that's why I'm here. I've been preparing for this my entire life. I'm the person for people who are procrastinating because the deadline is at the end of the month, and that's usually what I do. I usually do things at the last minute. In stand-up, the last person is the headliner, and that's usually the best spot, so I'm very excited to be doing that. Very excited to be the headliner. I have been involved in WES for a few years. I really have had a circuitous journey from mainline Protestantism, where people didn't want to sit in the front, to ethical culture, where people don't want to sit in the front. But seriously, the Ethical Society has been a really welcoming place for me. I've gotten involved in small groups and Sunday morning volunteering, improv, both virtual and in person, sci-fi and fantasy book group, and lots of other things as well. And I'm also really proud of the things that WES does in the community with Washington Interfaith Network and El Rodeo and refugee resettlement team and all those things as well. I remember when I was arguing with my cousin's husband on Facebook, and he was like, oh, all these people want more immigrants to come in and they never do anything. And I'm like, I give to refugee resettlement team. Like, don't have this argument with me. But nevertheless, if you haven't pledged yet, this would be a great time to do your pledge. And if you have friends you haven't heard from for a while, and it wouldn't be too awkward, maybe remind them to pledge. And hopefully no more furloughs, right? That would be great. Like, we'd love to not have furloughs this year. Wouldn't that be great? I think that would be that would be pretty solid. And all right, I'll just end it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Now we're going to enter into the centering time of our platform. Each week, we ring this chime in solidarity with people around the world, and today I'm particularly mindful of university students facing harsh penalties for exercising their First Amendment right to freedom of speech. So as we listen to this chime, let us remember our connection to each other and to the world around us. Let us open our hearts to compassion for those who suffer. And let us commit ourselves to the work that calls for our love.
I want to invite you to go ahead and take a big, deep breath in, if that feels good. Get yourself settled in your seat. Maybe stretch a little bit if that feels like what your body needs. Being mindful of that there are probably people next to you, and they might not want to feel your arms. Or they might, I don't know. Make your own decisions. We're having a joyful day, so I think we're going to do something a little silly in our meditation. We've done this before, so maybe you've experienced it. We're going to do some deep breathing, but with a little bit of a twist. So you're going to do your first breath the normal way. Big, deep breath in through your nose. Hold it. Let it out through your mouth. Now you're going to do that again, but when you let the breath out, I want you to pretend you're a horse. Okay? So that's going to look like this. Okay, can we do that with me? All right. All right, ready? Horse time. Okay. Shake yourself out while you do that. Can we do that again? And horse. Cool. Sometimes meditation can be about loosening up, getting ready to be flexible, getting ready to have fun, ready to receive what you're about to experience. It doesn't always have to be super serious. This time, let's take a big deep breath in, and whatever noise needs to come out of you. You might want to put your fingers near your ears. It is possible that some people need to scream. Okay, so we're taking a big deep breath in. We are blocking our ears if we are sound sensitive. And we are letting it out in 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Cool. I'm going to invite you to just keep breathing and being with yourself, arriving in this moment of joy and play and togetherness. We're going to take a minute for silent meditation and reflection. Whatever you need to do to feel present is the right thing to do. If you need to stand up and take a little lap, that's fine. If you need to go get some coffee, that's fine. If you need to drink your water, that's fine. We just ask that whatever you do for the next minute is quiet. And after that, there will be some music, and it will be good to be quiet for them too, because the chorus works real hard. So we continue our meditation in silence and the music that follows.
Thank you for that beautiful song, WES Chorus. Today's reading is the story of Norbert Čapek's flower ceremony. His mother was a devout Catholic, his father agnostic. He became an acolyte at age 10 in 1890 at St. Martin's Catholic Church. In the years that followed, he became disillusioned. His priest was a cynic. At 18, apprenticed to his uncle, a successful tailor in Vienna, Norbert discovered the Baptists and became a minister. He founded almost a dozen churches from Ukraine to Budapest. Yet slowly his faith became more and more liberal. He left Bohemia under government threat and accepted a call to serve a Baptist church in New York City until one day in 1919. That day he wrote in his diary, "I cannot be a Baptist anymore, even in compromise. The fire of new desires, new worlds is burning inside of me." Norbert and his wife, Maya Čapek, joined a Unitarian church in New Jersey in 1921 for the same reason that a whole lot of you joined at the Ethical Society here. Their children liked the religious education program. That's the power of our Sikh teachers. Kids, that's your power too. World War I ended. His home country now independent, he and Maya returned home to Czechoslovakia. His Unitarian church was the Prague Liberal Religious Fellowship. In just 20 years, his church had 3,200 members. The traditional Christian communion service of bread and wine wouldn't meet the needs of his congregation because his church, like our community, had people who believed different things. Čapek turned to the beauty of the countryside, to the beauty of flowers. In 1923, he developed the flower ceremony. He asked his congregants to bring a flower to church from their gardens, the field, or the roadside. He invited each person to place their flower in a vase. There was the church community, no less unique for being united. Following the service, each person could take a flower from the vase, a different one than one they had brought. Čapek was a visionary minister with a church ahead of its time, a bold church, a church thinking beyond its doors, beyond what it thought possible. It was a church that was willing to take risk, to make tough decisions, to bear disappointment, and to build a new way. First by building a church, and that church could build up the world. That is our congregation. That was Čapek's church. For this, the Gestapo arrested him in 1942. The Nazis accused Čapek of listening to foreign broadcasts and then sent him to the Dachau concentration camp. Even in starvation and torture, he held a flower ceremony with his fellow prisoners, finding whatever flowers they could among the weeds of the camp. They testified to a beauty larger than themselves and a love that would outlive them. The Nazis killed Norbert Čapek, but his spirit, courage, and commitment live on today. Those qualities have passed now to us to make them real. His wife, Maya, brought the flower ceremony to the Unitarian Church in Cambridge, Massachusetts in 1940. What we're about to do is not a historical reenactment of something over and done, but an affirmation of our continuity with the generations of struggle for ever-widening liberty. The flower ceremony, lovely though it is, isn't a diversion from ugly reality, but a gentle fierceness which proclaims that in the midst of sinister days, there is always the light of beauty. We're not here to recall something that happened, but to remember something that is happening, to remember, to put it back together again. And in that remembering, may we put ourselves back together again, each as a part of the body of this community, out of many, one. Today, we celebrate this ritual of solemnity and joy. As Čapek asked his people to bring a flower and celebrate beauty, so shall we. Today's platform speaker is WES's senior leader, Casey Slack.
Thank you, Amy. We're actually doing a lot of things today. Only one of them is the flower ceremony. But I'm going to start with dandelions. So if you've been around for a little while, one thing you'll know is that I love dandelions. I have loved dandelions my whole life. My maternal grandfather intentionally cultivated the dandelions in his yard out of my deep love for these reckless yellow flowers that showed up where they weren't wanted. This had the beautiful side effect of blowing dandelion seeds down the road to my parents' house, where my father was trying desperately to keep his yard free of anything that wasn't Kentucky bluegrass. I've been doing that to him my whole life. One of my favorite things about humanism, about ethical culture, about humanistic religion is that it is flat, like this. I know, I stand up here, and let me tell you, if our cameras liked it, I would stand down there. Because the point isn't, I'm special and know more than you, so I'm on the stage. I am special, and I do know a lot of things. But you're also very special and know a lot of things. We share this space. In a lot of traditional religion, there is someone who is understood to be better than, more than, closer to the truth. They are a priest who stands up in front of the crowd and never touches, who does a ritual facing away from you. Because connection isn't the point. Doing the right things is the point. Connecting to God in the right way is the point. There are traditions where people say, well, my pastor says, and then there are no questions after that. Here, I speak, and then you are actively encouraged to speak in response. Here, I know at least one of today's new members felt comfortable because after I spoke, someone got up and said, I don't agree. And I said, okay, cool. And that is fundamentally different from how religion is done in so many places, historically and contemporaneously around the world. I love our humanistic traditions because they ask us to be changed by each other. They ask us to see the world and our communities as being changed. We've been talking a lot lately about Felix Adler, founder of ethical culture, and this idea of eliciting the best and bringing out the uniqueness in each person. I've been talking about that as aliveness instead of best or uniqueness because I think aliveness speaks a little more to what we want to get at. Some of you have WES t-shirts. All of you can have WES t-shirts. Ask me how. Some of you have WES t-shirts, and you will notice when people wear them, hoodies, all of that, the logo has a bouquet of flowers in the middle. And the flowers don't match each other. It is not a bouquet of daisies, a bouquet of roses, a bouquet of sunflowers. They are not all the same flower. And the bouquet is changed in concept, in metaphor. We've moved away from the shirt and into a metaphor. The bouquet is changed by each new person who comes into our community. The flowers that are brought up on this stage when we celebrate the flower ceremony every year are different depending on who's in the room and what kinds of flowers they like, what kinds of flowers they are. The Garden of WES is made bigger and more beautiful by every person who joins us. Whether they join for a long time or just visit for one Sunday, we are always different. And our humanistic traditions teach us that that is one of the places where we can get closest to knowing something true. Right? Truth isn't out there somewhere projecting its desires in on you. Truth is being generated from us together. Goodness is being generated from us together, from our choice to learn about each other, from our choice to gather together and go out into the community and get to know and work with people who we might not encounter otherwise. From our choice to try to do the next right thing. When I was writing to our potential new members about the responsibilities of membership at WES, one of the things that I wrote was that you needed to commit to making a good faith effort to live into our community pact. I said a good faith effort, not a commitment to do it, because we're all people, and sometimes we don't slow down enough to say, okay, I'm upset, and I'm upset with this person, and what I should do is I could go to them and have a reasonable conversation. Yeah, nobody angry ever is first like, I should have a reasonable conversation with that person. That's not where anybody goes immediately. You have all been in a car and mad at somebody. Your first thought is not, let me calm down. Your first thought is, hey, expletives. Okay, that's my first thought. I'm quick with the middle finger in the car. I am not my best self driving a car or in an airport. These are not the places where I get my sense of my most ethical self. A good faith effort, an attempt to be connected, an attempt to, a real attempt to prioritize connection over being right. Scary, right? So much of traditional religion also runs on this idea that somebody knows what is right for everybody. Usually it's that God over here knows and tells in some way a clergy person. Personally, like the trees and I talk, but they've never told me what you should do. The trees and I talk about me, not about you. And somebody can tell you the right thing to do all the time. But the right thing is often different from time to time. That doesn't mean that there aren't better and worse ways to respond to a situation, right? Somebody makes you angry and you swear at them, that's usually the worst choice. It's not always the wrong choice. It's just usually not a good one. I digress. So we're celebrating 2, 3 things together in one today. And I think that they make a really beautiful combination. We're welcoming some new members. We're adding to the diversity of WES's garden. We're celebrating our spring festival, the blooming of our congregation and this time of year. And we're celebrating the flower ceremony. We're blending together our ethical culture and UU histories and making them our own, which is the thing that we do here, right? We're making it more WESy in each of the steps that we're doing. We are bringing ourselves closer together, exploring facets of what it means to be together. And we are celebrating the truly radical proposition that your joy and aliveness might change the world. We're going to start with welcoming some new members, and we'll get to the rest along the way. So I'd like to invite forward anyone who is joining today and also Board President Sarah Morris so that we can do this ceremony. Come on up, folks. This.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now is the time when we honor our newest members and their decision to join the Washington Ethical Society. We are delighted that we will have a chance to hear from them this morning. Today, with great joy, we are welcoming, please say your names into the microphone.
Rachel.
Amy.
Joseph.
Ebuka.
Nicole.
Excellent. We are so grateful today for each one of you that you have found your way here. and that you have decided to make a commitment to our community.
We have for you a certificate of membership, which includes a quote from Felix Adler. Spiritual evolution is the progressive advance of humankind toward a state of things in which the light of ethical perfection shall be reflected from the face of human society. That is, in which all people shall live and move and have their being in mutually promoting the highest life of each and all.
So we will get you those certificates filled out after platform. So come and find Sarah and I after platform. And in the moment, we're going to give you a pin. This pin has the, no, let me not walk away from the microphone while I'm talking. Thank you. This pin has the ethical culture symbol, and I'm dropping some of them. It's fine. We hope that you'll wear it with pride, as we are proud to have you in our community. And if you would pass the microphone again and just let us know why you came here.
I live not far away. I've lived in the neighborhood for 10 years, and I jog by WES a lot, and I was always curious about the name. And so before the pandemic, I came, and then I came to a platform. I enjoyed it. The pandemic happened. I wasn't involved. But then after the pandemic, I joined a Thai group. And that was that really filled a need that I had been looking for. I'm a lapsed Catholic, and I've really found as I get older, I miss the sense of community and fellowship and intentionality that when the church works, it does provide, but it wasn't providing for me.
All right. Joseph and I moved to DC in late 2019. And we were so excited. We were from small towns, and we were so excited to live in the big city and get out and do things in the world. And then it all shut down for a very long time. And we were starved for community and grew up in the evangelical faith tradition and knew that that wasn't the right move for us. So we looked around for atheist and humanistic communities because I knew that was one of my strongly held values, and found a wonderful community full of wonderful people who have embraced us very kindly.
And then she told me it had a sci-fi book club, and I was like, okay, that sounds like a pretty cool place to be. That goes beyond like the church and stuff we were raised in. I think this would be a cool place. And yeah, I met some great people here, joined the tech team, and now I'm in it. So yeah, it was. It's been so great, and we even got married here. Like it's become a huge part of our life.
So the reason why I came today is I came to the U.S. in 2001, and ever since then, there has been so much diversity and inclusion that I still had some problem trying to understand what is really going on. And I felt like it's very, very important that I get myself attached to an organization that can help me, guide me through it. Because while I was in Nigeria, I was pretty much part of a group that has more to do with diversity, So I felt like it's something that was missing, and I need to find it and fix it back. And that was why I came to this place. Thank you.
I came because I was looking for a community where we could celebrate milestones throughout the year, like holidays, celebrations. And also I was looking for a place where I could get involved with serving the community and serving, just serving, so.
In a community like ours, entrance into the congregation comes not just with a stamp from the leadership, but with an embrace from the whole membership. Therefore, we will share WES's words of welcome to our new members. If you know them, please join in.
We bid you welcome, who come with weary spirit seeking rest, who come with troubles that are too much with you, who come with hurt and afraid.
We bid you welcome, who come with hope in your heart, who come with anticipation in your step, who come proud and joyous.
We bid you welcome, who are seekers of a new way, who come to probe and explore, who come to learn.
We bid you welcome, who enter this hall as a homecoming, who have found room here for your spirit, who find in this people a family.
Whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are on your journey, we bid you welcome. May return to your seats. Now, there were some more folks who were interested in joining us today in membership. It's okay if you missed that. If you're one of those people, let me know. We will get you all of your things. Do not worry about having missed this particular experience. We can do it again. I know how. And so does everybody else. So as we add people to our bouquet, I want to turn to the flowers. Each of these flowers is distinct from the others. Even the ones that really look alike are not actually exactly like the ones next to them. They grow a little bit different. Their color is a little bit different. Their smell is a little bit different. And they are all beautiful. So I want to invite you to take a moment and turn to the person next to you and say something nice. All right, come on back. Don't make me ring the bell. Okay. One time's pretty good. One time with the bell is not bad for y'all. So we're gonna come into the actual flower ceremony right now, but I want to talk about it just a little bit more. You heard much of Norbert Čapek's story in our reading, but I want us to think about what it takes to decide to celebrate blooming in one of the darkest places that has ever existed on this planet. To make the decision in a concentration camp to still find flowers. To still find flowers and celebrate with whoever was around to celebrate with. One of the ways I think about community is that we do the work with whoever shows up to do it with us. And some days that's less people than you wanted. And some days it's not the people that you wanted, if we're being serious. But it's always the right people. It's always the right people because getting together to learn and think and grow and serve is always the right thing to do. Connecting with other people and remembering the beauty of the world is always right because it always reaffirms your and their humanity. It's hard to look out at the world as beautiful as it is today and remember how dark these times are. I don't even like that metaphor. I'll find a new one. Things are difficult. Let me be really real with you for the moment to break our little joyful time for a second with the reality of the world. Next Saturday, it'll be May 4th. And while Star Wars is the first thing that comes to many people's mind, on May 4th, I am from the town next to Kent State. I see nodding from older folks and a little bit of blankness from some of the younger folks. That's fair. So Kent State University is a state-run university in Ohio. It is kind of in the middle of nowhere. And during the Vietnam War, it was a location of quite a lot of student protest. They called the National Guard in, and 4 people were killed by the government for protesting on their college campus. I am not able to see armed police entering college campuses without immediately being in Kent. I imagine that for those of you who were young people or even older people at the time who were alive for that, that same slamming into memory might be happening. What's harder is that it's almost worse to look at. That the police are more militarized today than the National Guard was in the 70s. That these children, forgive me, young people, college-age people are children. These people who we need to protect know how to protect themselves from gun violence because they learned in school. I almost can't bear the reality of what I am seeing when I can make myself look. I'm not telling you to look, by the way. You don't need to watch those videos to know that what's going on is wrong. But if you see them, let yourself go outside afterwards. Let yourself go talk to a tree or the river or a favorite flower of yours. Let yourself talk to a friend who shares your values. Let yourself come here and get refreshed because this world is scary a lot of days. One of my best friends in seminary, a woman who I have often called the most brilliant witch of our age, a Filipina trans woman who is Jewish and a pagan and a bunch of things. Whenever times would get bleak when we were together in seminary, and we were together in seminary during the first big wave of Black Lives Matter protests, and we were out in the streets in Oakland getting nearly arrested every night. And when things felt bleak, she would say, "But still, somewhere there is a plum tree. Somewhere a tree is bearing fruit, something that could nurture you, something that could nurture the growth of yet another plum tree." When things are hard, whether they're personally hard or publicly hard, politically hard, ethically hard, I think about the fact that somewhere, maybe something isn't even blooming, but somewhere at all times, something is getting ready to bloom. Somewhere at all times, flowers are figuring it out in the ground. Somewhere at all times, something is bearing fruit and something is dropping fruit and something is growing anew, and nothing has ever been the last moment before. And even the cement, even the asphalt doesn't keep the plants from growing forever. They take everything back eventually. So I want us to celebrate this flower ceremony with all of the joy that these flowers and this community deserve. But knowing that that joy, that connection, that is the thing that holds you on. The ability to be silly in the midst of anything is one of the things that holds you on to your humanity. to our humanity, to being a person in the world where sometimes things do not go as you expected. And all there is to do is a little dance so that you can get back to what you were doing. So the way the flower ceremony is celebrated is that this morning many people brought in flowers and placed them in these vases up here. In a moment, I'm going to invite you to come up carefully, in some sort of order, group by group, and take a flower that is not the one you brought. Pick something that speaks to you, that feels like it's the most you flower available at the time. See if in the uniqueness of this flower, these flowers, you can find a reflection of your own uniqueness and aliveness. I'm going to start with our smallest sections. So over here, all the way on the right, you're first. Come on up and get a flower. All right, when this group has gotten to our friend in the gray polo here, chorus, then you. Okay? All right, chorus, you can join the line. A chorus line, if you will. Also, I'm not hoarding these dandelions, so you're welcome to have a dandelion if that speaks to you. Just leave me one. All right, left section. You can come on up and join the line. So while people are still coming up, I'm going to give a little bit more instruction so that we don't get too far behind in our timeline of this morning, which we are already behind in. So I want you to think about the flowers that you choose. And we're going to have a potluck after this, and I would like to invite you to, during the potluck, find somebody you don't know particularly well and ask them why they chose the flower they chose, or what that flower represents to them about themselves. And then share what your flower means to you with them. All right, last group, right side, come on up. One of, hi, thank you. One of the beautiful things about humans that is not so often true about flowers is that we get to bloom over and over and over again. We are ultra perennial, come back over and over and over, not just for 3 to 5 years, but, you know, if we're lucky, a lot more than that. I want you to look at your flower, and I want you to think about blooming. I want you to think about times when you have blossomed, times when you have seen something blossom, a flower, a community, an idea, a program, a project. Here's the message. We are going to bloom. It has been pruning time. We'll call it that. It has been tough times in the soil. We are going to bloom. Sometimes we're going to bloom like orchids. It's going to take a lot of work to get a blossom. Some of us need finicky, detailed help to get where we're going. Sometimes our communities need it too. We're going to bloom like orchids sometimes, and like roses sometimes, but also like dandelions. We're going to bloom like a flower pushing through the concrete. We're going to bloom on the wind and on the backs of animals and with seeds that we drop on purpose. We're going to plant the bulbs in the winter, and we're going to see the blooms in the spring. And we're going to scatter the wildflowers, literally and figuratively, and see them popping up in a chaos of color that is beautiful. Will you just say something with me real quick? Will you say, we are going to bloom? Like the orchids, we are. Like the roses, we are. Like the wildflowers, we are. Like the dandelions, and against any and all odds, we are going to. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Casey. I'm keeping my flowers with me. In a few minutes, we are going to have our community sharing time, where you can write into the Zoom chat or you can share in person about what resonated with you during this platform. While we listen to today's musical response, you might prepare by reflecting on a personal experience or an activity at WES that this platform has brought to mind. Please distill your thoughts into a single idea that you can share in 1 to 2 minutes.
Sing, O ye joyful now, sing all together. The winds in the treetop, the winds in the heather, the stars are in blossom, the moon is in flower, and bright are the windows of night in her tower. Sing, O ye joyful now, sing all together. The winds in the treetops, the winds
Thank you again so much for that. That was beautiful. One more time for the WES chorus, everybody. Before we start community sharing, I also want to shout out all of the many hands that work together to make the platform and the main hall, the social hall, so beautiful and decorative and festive. So thanks to everybody who helped. This is the time where we add our own voices to the morning, sharing our reflections on platform and what resonates with our personal experience. For our online participants, please share in the Zoom chat or in the comments if you're catching the recording later. If you're here in person, I have a microphone, and you can raise your hand and I will come to you. What we are looking for is for you to stand up, turn around, and face the camera so that our online participants know who's speaking, and please raise your hand if you'd like the mic. I saw your hand first, Chris. Testing. All right.
Hello. Chris Oswald, he has, really, the platform today resonated in part because last weekend, a number of us that are in the hall were all up kind of experiencing that blooming and coming of age. And I really wanted to call out, because she's here today, Pam Williams, Peggy Gates, who's not here, for having led us through, and all the parents that contributed to a wonderful coming of age ceremony last week.
I'm Laura, she, hers. I am busting, blooming, and so excited that I get to share this. It's a favorite quote of mine for a really long time, and it fits so perfectly. It's from Aeneas Nin. And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to bloom.
Excellent flower choice, Shirley.
Hi, I'm Shirley. I've said this before, but this resonated with me so much because I've had many times in my life when I felt like, renewed, whether it's a wedding or becoming a mother or whatever. But one of them that was now 18 years ago, which is hard to believe. I retired from teaching in June of 2007. My husband died suddenly 4 months later. I had gotten married at 19. I'd never lived alone. It was quite a shock. And out of that, what I found in the months following was doing art, and all of the art. Many of you have been so kind to come and see my art. Some of it's outside, and if you haven't, I invite you to. But doing that was saved my life. And I felt something in me that I'd never felt before. I didn't know it was there. So it was definitely a blossom.
Hi, I'm Pam, and thank you, Chris. That was lovely. I wanted to also mention the Coamat group that was up on the mountain last week, and all the children in this community that are budding and waiting to bloom. And we have new little ones that need help in the nursery so that we can offer nursery every Sunday. So think about our children, the young adults who were up on the mountain, who are getting ready to bloom and finish high school. And we also have young ones who are ready to bloom in our community, but we need more help. Thanks.
I'm Peter, he, his, him. This morning, I got in the mail a special report from the Mayo Clinic, which I subscribe to. And this special report was about the importance of well-being. And in particular, they said that it is very healthy to have an optimistic outlook. And so they then had a list of all the things that ordinary people do in their normal lives that then decrease their optimism, and all the things that they do to increase their optimism. And when I read these lists, I do everything on both lists. And one of the things that I think that happens here is that KC is busy helping us with these lists. But when you read these lists just in a list in this form, it just doesn't get through as well as KC does. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I did not see you over there. The chorus is sneaky over here.
Sorry to make you walk all the way across. Judy, she, her, and I'm just reminded of a saying that I've been hearing, well, have heard many times. We never step in the same river twice.
I'm Josh, he, him. I'm reminded by parts of what we talked about today of one thing that Lula said, which is, those in power can kill 1, 2, or 3 roses, but they can never stop the coming of spring.
Yes. All right. We also have a shout out in the chat from Eric Moyer. They say that they love all of our colorful flower crowns. So. Thank you to all who shared their thoughts and attention this morning. Just as we share our perspectives in this community, so too do we share our resources and gifts. Here at WES, we split all undesignated gifts in the Sunday collection between our operating budget and a fund dedicated to justice and compassion. In keeping with our social justice theme of bodily autonomy, our Share the Plate recipient for April is WES's Our Whole Lives program, or OWL. For the coming SEEK year, we want to run elementary, middle, and high school courses with 4 teachers in each cohort. Teachers must undergo training and be certified, and that costs around $250 per person. So let's take a moment to respond to the invitation to generosity as we're able to. To donate online through WES's Breeze system, go to tiny.cc/WESgives or click on Give at our website, ethicalsociety.org. To donate in person today, just place cash or check in the basket in the back of the hall on the way out, and you can always send in a check by mail. Thank you for your generosity. We will now receive your gifts and the gift of music.
I heard a bluebird singing. I heard a bluebird singing out by windowsill. Early in the morning on a bright new day, I heard a bluebird singing. I heard a bluebird singing, and I turned and watched him till he flew away. And then I understood what he was singing about. So sweet, so good, spring has sprung. Spring has sprung. Spring has sprung. Spring has sprung. Daffodils are dancing, the hillside too. The tulips are popping out 2 by 2. The little brook babbles, glistens and shines. The butterflies dance in the shadow of the pines.
Thank you so much to the many people who have helped create this morning's time together. Today's platform speaker, Casey Slack, and the WES Chorus providing some beautiful songs for us. Staff members Indara Miles, Robin Kravitz, and Maceo Thomas, and of course our platform production volunteers, the tech team, slide artists, Zoom chat usher, and in-person greeters. I want to mention a few things upcoming in the life of our community. First is the coffee announcement. We know you've got some awesome mugs at home, whether they be funny, geeky, or stunning handmade works of art. Get them out of your cupboard and into the spotlight by bringing one with you sometime to platform each week for your coffee or tea at the West Sunday Cafe. And just like spring signals renewal and blossoming, so does the annual pledge drive. This is the time when members make their financial commitments for the upcoming WES program year. Thank you so much to everyone who has already made their pledge. And if you have not yet pledged, please do so as soon as possible. That way we can wrap up the pledge drive at the end of the month to allow Casey and the staff enough time to construct next year's budget, which will be voted on at the spring membership meeting. A lot of fun things are happening at WES this week. Starting with today, we have WES's mental health support group is meeting this afternoon at 2, and that link to join that Zoom chat is in the weekly news and notes email that went out on Thursday. Time change announcement, the Sci-Fi Book Club is meeting this afternoon on Zoom at 2:30 instead of 1:30 to discuss Psalm for the Wild Built. And again, that link to join the Zoom is in the news and notes email. Join the Lifelong Learning team tomorrow, Monday, April 29th, via Zoom for the next and final session in the Through the Stages of Life, Planning for the Future series. They will be discussing all of the options for caring for someone's body after their death and honoring their memory. Sign up via the link in the WES calendar to receive the Zoom link to join that one. On Tuesday, come and say yes and join us in the social hall at 6:45 for Improv at WES. Chorus rehearsal this week has been moved from Wednesday to Thursday night here in the main hall due to a concert being held by the DC Labor Chorus here at WES. The concert is free to attend, but you do need to register through their Facebook page. So if you're interested in hearing some excellent music from our friends at the DC Labor Chorus for May Day, please come out. It is definitely going to be a treat. So chorus rehearsal will be on Thursday here at 7:30. That is it for announcements today. As always, you can find information about opportunities to connect in the weekly news and notes email and on the calendar page of WES's website, ethicalsociety.org. Again, if you are new to our community, please introduce yourself in person or via the connection form at tiny.cc/wesconnects or send an email to wes@ethicalsociety.org. At the conclusion of platform, please join us for social hour, either here or on Zoom at tiny.cc/westcoffeehour. But if you're on Zoom, you don't get the snacks, so I recommend going to the social hall after for some food. I'll now invite you to join in our closing music and closing words for the month.
So it's the end of the month. If you've been here, you know this song by now. If you haven't been here, you can be the rhythm section.
Looks
And now for our closing words. Let us go into the week ahead with compassion, understanding, and commitment to nurture our communities and defend each person's self-determination. Thank you all so much for joining today's platform, in person or remotely. We look forward to connecting with you again soon.